Good evening. I'd like to call the Northwood Board of Selectmen's meeting to order at 6:01. Roll call.
Donald Hoshin here.
Rick Wolf. I guess Scott Breyer will be along.
Not.
Roll call. Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Scott's playing a ghost tonight for Halloween.
Yeah, he's coming in with his costume on. Now we will move on to citizens forum. If anyone has any public comment. Seeing none, I guess we'll move on to the public hearing, which we have one tonight.
Do we have anything to read that in?
No, you know what, the public hearing, we're gonna have to cancel it. It was not posted correctly. It should have been posted in the newspaper and it wasn't. So,
Okay.
we're backing that out. It's gonna be at the end of the month.
Alrighty, we're moving on to appointments next.
Go right on to the budget.
Yeah, tonight's strictly budget for the Board of Selectmen.
I'll call the rec lady.
She wants to go first.
I hear you want to be
Yes,
out of
please.
here tonight in a
Thank
timely
you.
manner.
Hi, I'm Sharon DeLuca with Northwood Recreation. I have a copy. You need,
I got you.
you got it?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I just had to get to it. They're in a different order this time. My book's in a little different order.
Oh, because they're vertical, not...
Yeah, no, well, this was in front before. 21 and 22. It's right at the bottom, and then it's basically 22. 21's only one line.
Excuse me.
I don't see you getting it.
So we really don't have any increases. There was a small increase, I'm sure Sandy can answer to that on the payroll.
Yeah.
It's probably just a tax increase. Would that be correct, just Social Security or Medicare?
Yeah, it's normal stuff.
Pretty much everything else is lateral.
Okay.
You know, it's, you know, we'd like to probably see the budget grow in the next couple of years, but as we're, you know, next year, we feel pretty good that this will sustain our needs.
I don't have any questions about the budget.
I don't. Do you have any questions, Sandy, about the budget?
No.
Yeah.
I have a quick question though
Sure.
on Rex. Are we getting ready to put up now that it's getting cold, the ice rink?
Yep.
Yes, we sure are. We have chosen the location where the old bean bowl,
Yeah, yes.
yeah, over here. And the inmates are gonna help put it up.
I was just
We're gonna
wondering.
level it out, help put it up. We do have instructions from the company that we got it from, so we're looking pretty forward
Awesome.
to that.
Awesome.
I think the one thing is we might need electrical. Would that be correct?
There's power in the
There is
garage.
power out there on the poles. I'm sure we can get
Yeah.
an outlet off of one fairly easy.
Yep.
There's lights out there too.
So yeah,
That was just my question. I knew we wanted to get it up early this year. I was
Absolutely.
Just wondering.
be easier.
And plus, you get more time out of it too. You get the whole season.
I guess the Halloween party was a success, I hear.
Yes, we had, we were just talking about, we had 76 trunkers. We had about 250 vehicles that were parked outside of Trunk or Treat. And Judy and Charlie Pease did an amazing job on the hayride. He said he had about 100 people that participated in the hayride. We had amazing support from the Rec Commission, Their husbands also came and helped set up our spooky walk, which was probably one of the best that we've had. It was great. Fire department was excellent. Police department was great. Fire department helped start the fire, so it was good. And it was a very successful event, I feel. So,
Great.
yep. We made a lot of improvements from last year. Safety was probably the #1 concern. So,
I did see the church people picking up on Sunday after it was over early in the
Yes.
morning in the rain.
well, we also did something a little different too. We added some food vendors. So the church people did, Congregational Church did help do the pickup. They also, the day of trunk or treat, did hot chocolate. The Boy Scouts did hot dogs, and I believe they sold about maybe 250 hot dogs. And then there was mac and cheese and chowder. And
Great.
Scott Breyer's daughter Taylor did a fundraiser for the fields up there also.
Guess we need to thank Joe and Dave for traffic.
Yep, yep. They were there. Joe actually ran all the parking, did an excellent job, so kept it really flowing and safe.
All right. Any questions on
Any questions on the budget, Scott?
You guys okay with it?
It's
Yeah, we are.
flatline,
It's
basically, so I
flatline.
didn't know if you had any.
Okay. We just got into a little bit of comment about Halloween, that was all to get sidetracked. But I figured it was a good time to talk about it while she was at the table. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
You want to go on sanitation, or is somebody else in a hurry? Or?
Who else is here? Let's bang out who's here.
Sanitation.
Let's bang out
Joe's
who's here.
here.
Joe's here, that's it.
All right, Joe, we'll take you then.
Let's bang out who's here, and then we can do the rest. That way we ain't holding anybody up.
I didn't know what the rest of them were here for.
How's it going, Joe?
Good, how are you tonight?
Not bad.
So, basically just the thinking change is the change in hazardous waste and the change in the demo and furniture removal. The two big changes, and the rest is about the same as last year.
Oh, did you put on the record the guy here?
So,
Scott Breyer arrived at 6:08.
my question is not really more towards you, but we discussed this earlier about the line for taking care of the pest. I don't see that in this particular part. And you said it had to be in the transfers. Is that a different section?
Are we actually going to do that? I mean, we can always add that. I
I
don't
was
know.
just saying, you thought there was a line here, and I just didn't see it. That's
Yeah,
all I
there was.
wondering.
It was,
I don't know, is that something that the board, I know this
it's
is.
extermination. It's line 490. There's $1 in the line.
490. I've only got 4 lines on mine. Solid waste on 19.
On page 18.
Page 18, yeah.
All right, well, that's a different page. That's under sanitation, that's why I didn't see it. I was looking under solid waste.
Yeah, it's on the administrative side. It's line 490, extermination.
It's just something we discussed about taking care of the last time we were talking about pest control. I know we had brought it up, and
Yeah, I don't know that anyone made a concrete decision as to what we're doing with that. So it's up to the board and what they want to do.
but other than that, I mean, the upping in the cost is kind of a bummer, but that happens. Are we keeping track now when we use it on the weekends for trash?
Yeah, it was just basically the month of July that was a big hit when everyone returning back to the summer homes. And
I know, yeah.
that was about the only big month change.
Okay. It is what it is. There's not much we can do about it going up. You got to get rid of it.
Produce more, you pay more.
Yeah.
Any comments, Scott?
What line we, under, okay, 490, sorry.
It's something that we had discussed earlier.
No, I
in the
don't know.
process. I can't remember how much it was per per building, did you?
Wasn't a lot,
No, it was $60 a month.
that's what I remember.
Yeah, so.
So if we were
whatever
to
that's
put
times
anything
12.
in that line, it'd have to be $60 a month for, per month, so it'd be
12 months.
$4,800,
It's like 720.
$720, is that right? I'm way off, yeah. I was way off.
$60 a month.
Yeah,
Way off.
712.
Way off. Why did I think that? Well, brain's not functioning, lack of sleep, lack of power.
Lack of power. So does the board want to do 720 for the, okay.
I think it's something that we should, it's, yeah.
We've
What do
had
you
some
think, Scott?
complaints that people said they thought there was some friends down there, so maybe
Gotta
we
take
ought to
care
look
of
to
it.
getting rid of them if they are
I've
there.
only ever seen one rat in the town.
I've never seen one down there, but it's not highly unlikely that they are. I mean, I've been in there a lot, I've never seen one in there, but that doesn't mean that they're not there. It's up to the board. I'm
fine
okay
with
with
me.
it. You, Scott?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll
I'll
up
add
that
that.
to 720.
Yep.
Is that the exact amount, Joe?
Yeah, she
Come on.
quoted, I don't have it in here, but she quoted it me. I'll bring it to you, Sandy.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? The other line that I said, and this again is this goes back to the magnet thing we talked about last week, is they're not using the advertising line. I did notice that the last 2 years, it was $13, and this year we haven't used anything. And there's $3,100 each year.
Yep.
I don't want to cut that line, but I'd like to use it. Maybe, or we could cut it.
They were supposed to do magnets and they didn't
We
get
could-
done evidently.
I mean,
in
we could
cars.
cut it, but if we're not gonna use it, then we can cut it, but I'd like to see something. Even if we're not gonna change the prices, that doesn't mean we can't have a new brochure.
So I guess on demo and furniture, line 380, it's on page 19.
Yep.
So we're going up, we're asking for $15,000 increase there, correct?
Correct.
How much are we bringing in on revenue to offset that?
Charging everybody what it is.
No, yeah, but what's the number?
Sandy.
Is that in the revenue report?
Sandy's got it.
Yes, but I don't have a current one, so I don't know when the last time I printed one for you was.
I have one
Do
in
you
my
have one?
truck. It was the closest, it was September when I got mine printed out.
You know what, if you give me 5 minutes, I can pull the one we used last week at the
I'm
budget
just
meeting.
curious, because I mean, I know we
Give me
gotta
5
get rid of it, but does that also include when we had to put rubbish in there?
No, because we don't charge for that. We
No,
still gotta pay to get
we
rid of
gotta
it.
pay to get rid of it.
Yeah, we do.
And
The
then-
rubbish is
Well,
on us.
it's
and we
gonna
put
go,
it
it's
there.
gonna come out on that line, I would think.
Exactly.
Yes.
And you gotta remember too, like, we don't charge for fireworks that go in there on the 4th of July, which is another, like as you said, is another huge chunk of stuff that goes in there. Huh?
A couple weekends, lots of fireworks.
Yeah, and I've been there, there's a few weekends that it does get filled up with trash. I'm not
So
gonna
I'm just saying that number might be a little misleading, and then part of that number should really be going down on,
Just tipping fee,
yeah.
but it's not really a tipping fee though, because we're not or I guess it's
What I'm saying is,
it looks bad,
it
but
looks
it's coming
bad,
out of
I'm trying to say it looks bad, but it's probably not as bad as we think it is, because it's on the wrong line, because when the.
Well, it's really all
compact-
3 lines that
Yeah.
it should be coming out of.
Yeah, so if we look at all 3 lines,
It's really all 3 lines.
$15,000 increase overall, and I'm wondering.
5
if
each.
it's- What? I'm sorry.
No, it would be 5 each if we looked at the 3 lines.
Yeah, I know, but it's all showing up on that one
So
line.
you're saying we think you should stretch it out between all
No,
3
I'm not
lines?
saying that, I'm just kind of pointing out that, well, that
I
line,
understand.
that line looks bad, it's probably not as bad as it looks.
I understand what you're saying. I mean, it's all in one thing.
When the bills come in, they are broken down by those 3 lines on every invoice.
Yeah,
If you look at the bottom of the Lamprey invoice, I break down tipping,
yeah,
demo, and mileage.
yeah.
So it is hitting that line.
Yeah, because that's the container
That's the
actually-
container
Yeah,
tipping,
I realize that, so how
Yeah.
much revenue did we bring in?
Okay, for recycling fees, we've brought in 13,700.
Yeah.
For revenue, general revenue fees, we've brought in $7,705.60, and for hazardous waste, $4,186.12.
So,
It's about
And that's
25
that's as of October
about
16th.
25
so on
grand
the,
total.
so my question is, on the demo line, you just said we brought in $7,000?
$7,700.
So in actuality, say say that's overstated by, well, probably look at last year's actual, say that demo ride's really 21, you know, I'm just saying, and I'm not talking about, increasing, we're obviously not charging the people for what it actually costs us to
Getting a
get.
third of it back.
Last year, the actual revenue on that dump revenue for the demo was actually $19,070.
So we're down a little bit.
So
this
You're
what,
year.
down,
so,
yeah.
so why, I gotta ask this question. Why is the revenue down, but the costs are up?
I can't answer that question. I don't work at the transfer station, Scott. I don't know.
Are we dumping that much rubbish into the demo?
That's why I wanted to start doing every time we did it, when we started, like, it doesn't have to be exactly what day, how many roughly hours we did it for, and so that way we can actually get a good gauge of how much we're using it for trash. Because if we just go by, hey, it happened this month, but we don't know the exact dates, we're not getting an exact gauge of how much we're using it for trash. Now, you have to do what you gotta do. If the bin's full, you gotta put it somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with that, I understand that, I'm just saying, it seems odd to me that the year before we had almost $19,000, and we're 3/4 through the year now, we only got $7 grand, that doesn't make sense.
And we have more tonnage.
And we got more tonnage.
Right.
It's totally illogical.
It's hard to charge by the pound when you're guessing. We've all been through that before. It's not easy to guesstimate how much somebody brings in, and
Yeah, we do
in
it by,
order to be
we
fair.
do it by the
No,
foot.
I know, but we go back to that thing, you know, the scale.
Yeah, but you gotta spend 100,000
No, I didn't say 100,000, I'm just saying.
to get a scale.
So I don't know if it'll help you guys at all, but to Scott's point, we have been tracking, we have the numbers tracked back from 2014 with this. In July, there was, I have a graph, I didn't bring it, but you definitely saw a skew. And it's about $4,000 that came from demo that should have went to the MSW. And that's what Joey's saying. In July, when we started dumping it into the demo bin, it's about $4,000. So,
It wouldn't surprise me at all.
No, I mean, I've been in there, and I could say it's probably 2 containers full in July, in just fireworks.
Well, yeah, we're here to talk about
Just
the budget,
fireworks.
I'm not trying to beat up, I just thought the numbers looked a
No,
little,
they are.
All right.
the revenue's a little down.
It is, but until we do something to make it better, what do?
720 was that amount for the other one, right?
Yeah, 720. So what'd you decide on that one?
The hazardous waste. I'm okay with bringing it up to 720, the extermination sanitation. I mean,
How about the other?
what?
The other line of the 15,000, is it gonna stay the way it is, or?
I don't, if.
Well,
we're
here's
gonna-
my question.
We're gonna overspend it if we don't.
We're 3/4 of the way, what's the date of this document? 10/31, so you ran this the end of the month,
I ran it today.
So would you say that that's slightly more than 3/4?
Yeah, I still have October, November, and
So my
December.
point is, if I took our actuals, and these are actuals to date.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, wait, I'm sorry, I take that back. Actual spending as of right now is 18.
Mm-hmm.
So if we divide that by 10 months?
9,
right?
I've got 3 more to pay.
What?
I got 3 more to pay.
Okay, so you divide that by 9.
Yeah.
Can you do that real quick?
It's about $2,000.
Oh, you don't have a calculator?
About $2,000 a month.
18 divided by 9 is 2.
So my question is, do we really have to go up to?
What I said, about $2,000 a month.
Well,
for demo, yeah.
Pretty close.
it's hard. You can change it. I mean, this was an average estimate because last year was 21,3.
Well, you gotta
And
remember.
we did this,
Scott,
we started this back in
You're gonna have
July.
the same issue as July is in November and December. I can tell you that right now. Thanksgiving and Christmas,
Christmas are
you're
big
gonna run
months,
into the
too.
same exact problem.
I say we cut that down to 25K.
Okay. That's what you're thinking.
So you want to take 5,000 right
Well,
off?
if he's saying 2,000 a month,
Roughly.
Yeah,
we got 3 more months.
right.
He had $6,000 on that, it's about,
And maybe
I
we
mean,
can,
with the change, it's about 25K.
maybe we can look at charging for fireworks to try to recoup some of that money during that time of year. I hate to charge for that sort of thing, but if it's getting to that point,
So you want to drop 5 off of here?
can't put them in the
I'd like
cardboard.
to, I'd like to reduce, I'd like to go with a $10,000 increase on that one.
Okay.
Just for the board's information, your tipping fee is going up $1 per ton this year.
Was that factored into this number? For the tipping, increase in tipping?
No, we started this budget back in July.
I just
And-
met
yeah.
with Lamprey.
So do we need to adjust that number? Last year, we had 56 for tipping fees.
We went overspent our tipping fees by $7,000 last year. And we stayed with the same budget.
So we budgeted 25 this year, we're at 17.
No, that's solid
No,
waste
no.
removal, that's mileage.
Tipping is
fees
50.
below it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so, oh, no,
No,
oh,
I think you
31.
guys should be okay with that. That's $20,000.
Yeah, I think that one's okay.
Even though we overspent it last year?
Yeah, because, well, as of 9 months, 3/4 of the year, you got 31,000.
I understand that. I was just looking at, we overspent it last year. What's the difference? You're going the same amount of
Because you
mileage.
might have had, maybe, I mean, you,
It goes to that same question you were asking before. We're going the same amount of mileage, and the tipping fee is by mileage and when they come and get it. It's not by ton, right?
Last year, our tipping fee was something like $84 a ton.
Right.
what is it now, $85
Right now,
a ton?
right now it's 63, it's going up to 64.
Oh, okay, so
All right.
it's cheaper.
So
I'm
it's
sorry, it's gonna go up to 65.
Okay, but the
still,
year before that was 85.
It was much, much higher, yeah, so that's
so
why
that
you
makes
see
sense why we went over then.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right.
the tonnage.
I was,
is-
I misunderstood
So
the
I'm
tipping
saying,
fee.
I'm saying right now that we could probably cut $5,000 on that first line. And you're telling me right now, we could probably cut that next line down for 5,000 too. We could probably deduct 10 grand on those lines.
You want to take $5,000 off transport and mileage?
No, tipping.
Tipping,
Tipping,
because
okay, so the next
if
one.
we're,
Okay.
not, you're saying you're always a month behind, correct?
Yeah, I get the bill the month
So
after.
as of
it's been
September
hauled.
30th, which we would have paid in October,
Right.
we would have had like 31K. So that's 3/4. We can probably figure out, like, maybe we're spending 11,000 a quarter? Does that sound
Yeah,
reasonable?
yeah.
So we could probably
10.5
bring
maybe,
that,
yep.
so we could,
$9,000 a year.
so we could probably
$9,000
say,
a month.
move that line down to, from 50 down to 45K.
Okay.
Because the tipping fees are down, like you said, 85 down to what, now to 65?
Yes.
And then last year, we didn't adjust the budget, we just kept it at the 50. Because if you look at the 2000, oh wait, I'm sorry. If we go the year before, wasn't it 50 that year too, or?
No, we brought it down last year based on Lamprey's numbers.
Okay.
And we still went over.
No,
Well, 2017 budget. We brought the 2017 budget down.
yeah, I don't think we're gonna hit 45.
I trust your judgment. You're way better at, I know the numbers, but not that good.
I think I think we gotta increase the, demo, because it's clear to me we're overspending on that line. And they're gonna charge us from whatever whether it's trash or
Yeah, it's the
demo.
same price no matter, we actually pay more when we put the trash in the demo than we pay for it to get rid of it in the actual bin, in the actual compact.
So I think we could shave 10, between those two lines, 5 and 5, and the increase would only be $5,000. If everybody agrees with that.
Yeah, I'm good. And then the other one will go up.
Part of the reason the garbage goes in the demo is because we
Yeah,
can't
we
get
run out
it.
of space.
We
I
can't get a
understand
truck
that.
when we need it. I'm just
Well, they only
explaining
come
it for
once a
other
week,
people.
they only come once a week, that's the issue.
That's why we get in the bind we get in with putting it in there.
Yeah, it's nobody's fault.
Joe's fault, or it's not
happens.
anybody
Yeah,
else's
and that
fault.
It
was-
happens.
I wasn't saying it was a...
I know, but I'm just clarifying it.
But
Other
to
people
your
don't
point,
know.
to your point about recouping some revenue is maybe charging for certain things that we don't charge for fireworks. That's a huge thing in the summer that we don't charge to get rid of. We can't put it anywhere else. It has to go in that bin.
I created some graphs about 4 or 5 years ago, and I know I've distributed them to the board before, and it shows the revenues each month
Yeah.
on a year-to-year comparison analysis.
Uh-huh.
I'll be more than happy to have them for the next meeting if you want them.
Sure,
And I don't know how, I mean, I can go back to 2011 when I started the graphs.
sure.
And I
So you can see the
think we
revenues.
need to really, and again, I'm just saying we gotta really look at, we charge, when I say charges, everybody getting charged for what they're bringing in, I'm saying we gotta be, we
Cognizant
gotta
of
look
yeah.
at that revenue, we
Right.
gotta be cognizant that, sometimes they say, oh, go ahead, dump it, don't worry about it. Look, I just wanna say, cause this, I'll leave it alone, but we can cut 5 and 5.
It's tough. I've been in your situation. It's a tough situation. It's not easy. I'll leave it to, I think there's just some things that we throw in there that we don't charge for now, that we could, that is a general, easy one to figure out. Like the fireworks, that's a huge one. There's other things that we put in there, there's certain things.
Any other conversation?
No.
Any
Thanks,
comments,
Joe.
Joe or Sandy?
No.
Thank you. You're doing a good job, by the way. Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Joe.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I agree. You're doing a good job. Who we got next?
Charlie Peace and Judy are here.
You gonna follow the thing?
Oh, yeah, whatever you
Paving?
want.
Paving.
We just
Yeah.
do who's here and then bang them out, and then we can do the ones that aren't here.
Charlie, here's for paving.
Highway
copy of your budget,
Administration,
Charlie?
Page 15.
Do you have a copy? Okay, I
See
printed
on
one just
page
in case.
16.
Paving and snow and ice is what you were
Which one do you want to start with? You want to start with paving? Whatever you want to start with. Which, we'll start with paving. It's on page 16. It's the closest one. And
Why, the lights go back on?
No, highway administration is 15.
Oh, okay, bye. Hey, I got an energy, I got lights out of the house.
You should
I
have.
know everybody else does, so.
I just barely got power, like literally 10 minutes before the meeting started.
I'm running the
You don't
generator.
have it yet?
Mine came on 3.
Just barely got ours, literally a half hour before the meeting started. I was so excited. I was like, shower, yes. Well, I hope you guys get it
Mine
soon.
says everybody will be restored Friday.
Friday?
They called me literally 20 minutes before and said the same thing, and then all of a sudden my power came on. I was just getting ready to go get gas.
There was a branch on a wire right here, and when they removed it, power came on here and halfway down the damn street.
So what page we on paving?
Whichever one he wants to start with.
16, right?
16?
Yeah, I don't, does he do all of these ones on the
Yes.
highway?
He does paving,
He does all of
snow
them.
and ice,
Highway cleaning,
All of them.
whatever.
whatever, we'll just start with paving. We can go back and forth.
When
It
he's
don't matter.
done, he'll be done.
All right, paving it is. Highway, paving, 16.
Paving and reconstruction? So we're
16,
talking about-
16 and 17. Looks like it's not going up at all. We're just getting a block grant. Same thing. Same amount.
Now, what are we doing this year, Sherburne Hill?
We're gonna try to do some Sherman Hill, depends on what we get for money. And I'd like to do some of the rest of Jenna's Pond. And whatever we can get out of Sherman Hill.
What's the highway plan say we do this year?
This year is,
Well, because we should have done Sherburne Hill a couple of years ago, so.
it should have been done, yeah.
But you couldn't because it was that scenic.
Yeah,
road, right?
yeah, yeah, but that's taken care of.
Golf Road, Tasker Hill, Bigelow. And
How far behind, when's Jennis Pond, we did Jennis Pond, how
we
much
got
we
about a
doing?
mile left on Jenna's Pond.
And when was that scheduled? How many years back was that scheduled?
I don't know where we were, but. Back here. It should have been done in 2015.
When should have we done Sherburne?
Sherman Hill?
Yeah.
Sherburne Hill is actually this 2018.
So we should have done that this year, okay.
Right.
How much you think you can do on Sherburne, like a mile?
I was kinda hoping to do at least half of it. And if we started at Ridge Road and came this
Down.
way, that would be the worst part. And then do the rest of the next year.
So you're saying you could do Golf Road, Task Hill, Bigelow, and some of Sherburne, or you're just
Oh,
going
he
on?
said, he didn't say Tasker.
He didn't, he mentioned those, but he wasn't including them in his.
No, I wasn't, I was
No.
just wondering, so you want to concentrate on Sherburne
Dennis
Hill?
Pond, Sherburne Hill.
Yeah.
So we got that, I don't know, cause I did miss a meeting with them. We got that extra block grant. Have we spent that yet?
We're working on it.
Okay,
They're doing the dirt roads and the drainage on Bow Lake Road.
How did our dirt roads hold up with this storm? Just a quick question. Decent?
They're a little rough, but they're not too bad.
so which dirt roads how much did they give us? I don't recall, was it like
88?
88K?
And our dirt roads really need some work. They haven't had work in 10 years. And the people who live on the dirt roads pay the same amount of taxes as the people do on the tar roads.
So if we were to get the full 220 that's in here, right, because we had, the 102 is based on what we get for block grant, and then we put in 50? Is that the way I read this?
No, I don't understand.
We've been asking
Yes.
for 100.
It says 220, but it's 102 from the highway, that's what we put in, and they match it?
The
We do
first
the
one-
town.
No, the highway block grant is calculated at the state by DOT.
Correct,
It's based about, but has nothing to do with the town portion.
So,
It's
all right,
a
I know, but
percentage Based on miles of road and how much highway fund revenue
But
they bring in.
that's what the budget comes to, right? The 220, where's,
Yes. Yeah, that's what your budget would be, thereabouts. Sandy, did we get the block grant information yet from the state?
Yeah, Michelle was on the phone before they did the before they finished the
Oh,
MS
that's
so
two.
overall, we'd have 152 to spend on the road, that's basically what you're saying, on construction of roads?
No, you'll have the full 220 there, if the
And
budget
we could
passes.
get some of Sherburne Hill and the rest of Dennis Pond done, is that what you want to do with that money? That's what I'm getting? Okay.
That's what I'd like to do with it.
What Charlie says from Ridge Road back towards
Makes sense, because that's
the
the
worst
worst
part of
part.
the road.
Yeah, that
I mean,
little stretch.
the corner.
Yeah.
I'm okay with doing those roads if everybody else is. I mean, obviously, I'd like to do as many roads as possible, but
We only
you
got
only,
so much
can only
money.
pick out what you can pick out. And I know Sherburne Hill is really, really bad.
We did manage to get, earlier in the year, we got some quotes for Sherburne Hill, and it's gonna be about 220,000 to do it end to end, if you guys,
So that would take
If-
up
if
that
the
one.
money-
How bad, I gotta ask the question, how bad is, we did a piece of Jenn's.
Yeah.
How bad is the rest of Jenn's? Like, if you had to compare roads, which roads were Sherburne or Jenn's?
Sherburne is probably worse. The section that we want to do would be worse than Dennis Pond.
Right.
But if we could bang out that whole road
Yeah.
and push Jenn's off, the rest of Jenn's off for a year, what's your thoughts on that?
But then it'd be just one road.
Then
next year.
Sherburne would be done.
We could probably do that.
It'd be one road though.
Well, I'm
next year.
asking, yeah, but how bad is out of the two, what's the
There's a
worst?
couple of spots on Dennis Pond that if we could just kind of shim them a little bit, it would be all right, for a year. Just a couple of spots to just run a shimming spot over smooth it out a little.
What road gets more traffic, you think?
Sherburne Hill, gotta be,
Yeah.
I would think.
I don't know, Jennings gets quite a
Dennis Pond
bit too.
gets a lot too, yeah, because
I wouldn't wanna guess on that one myself.
Oh, yeah, if it's cut off too, yeah.
they come
A lot
out
of
from
people from
Stratford.
Barnstable
I
and
forget that
Stratford.
it is a cut off. I was thinking more of the school traffic, that's why I said Sherburne Hill.
Okay. Some questions.
I'm okay. I mean,
Fine with
I'll
that.
take your suggestions on the roads. It's really, I'd like to do as many as possible, but your suggestions are the best. He's the highway guy.
Yeah,
We don't have to decide
no,
on those
I
today.
just wanted to discuss, Will. So, are we still due the warrant article that asks for the extra? Okay.
I have it in there, it's up to you guys, obviously.
So we get extra on top of the 220, correct?
Well, no, we put it in as a warrant article, so if we get the funding, we do extra work.
Right, I understand.
Yeah.
That's what I know. I get it. So we could possibly get enough to do both.
Yeah.
possibly. Or Sherburne Hill and something small, whatever. I'm good.
Everybody all set on that
Yeah.
one?
On to the next.
Yep, I'm good with the
We can change
pavement.
on that. Snow and ice, right to page 17, same, right, next one down. Or might as well go highway cleaning and maintenance, it's the next one right down.
Yep.
That just looks like you just want some new guardrails, which, didn't we already do some, and you just want some more?
We just did some.
I haven't got them done yet, but I just don't have enough money to, $3,700 or whatever is just not enough money
To do what you
to
want?
get some of the rails. They just,
No, I mean, safety, it's
We're supposed to be doing Lower Deerfield Road, right?
yeah, and I'm still waiting. They're coming, but they're behind.
I'm good.
Everybody's behind.
good with that too.
I'm good with that. It's only a $3,800 increase.
Yep, and if we're gonna take the time to tar the roads, we might as well take the time to make them look nice too. What's next one?
Yep.
We'll right down the line.
Hey, you're doing the column, keep going.
Snow and ice is next, it looks like, right below it. That's not moving a bit.
Snow and ice is the same.
Yep.
Any questions on that?
No, I don't like.
So the actual,
Tough lines. to
the
cut.
actual, the 100, and then right now we're at 91, we got the cold weather coming in. I'm okay with that one.
I hate cutting those lines, because you never know what you're
Yeah,
gonna
you don't
get.
know if you're gonna get snowstorm,
You never know what you're gonna get.
how much you gonna get.
I'm good with that one too. So, it looks like we're back to highway administration, 15. That looks like the only increase besides your basic general labor is for supplies. And you went over budget for last year, but
I
that's
put
fine.
the supplies in mostly because I've been buying a lot of street signs,
Yep.
and I have nothing here to take it out of.
This was another one I wanted to touch on, I guess, with the transfer station here too, is I noticed the uniforms, and I agree that we should be purchasing your uniforms, I 100% agree, and I think that's something that we probably could have hit on in the transfer station too. 'Cause it gets cold in there, and I mean, it's kind of expensive to buy nice, warm clothes. It's not cheap. And we are expecting them to be outside.
What are you thinking?
I don't know.
Like a reimbursement or a?
Yeah, it's something we
Straight
can
up.
think of, we can consider. You know, maybe we just gotta set an amount what we feel is fair for a year, and how much for each employee. I mean, do you have any ideas on that? I mean, you're in the same environment. I mean, do you have any suggestions?
The only thing I can suggest is if you want to go to uniform companies and see what they do,
Yeah,
as far as what they give you for the price and
You know, you talk to somebody, like if we do a reimbursement, somebody might buy,
I don't know if we have to go as far as uniforms, but I mean, for a nice heavy winter coat to work in there, you're talking
Carhartt
200.
coat and a set
You're
of
talking
pants,
200
whatever.
bucks. I mean, when I worked there, I took it upon myself to buy myself a heated coat because I hated being cold. Heated gloves. I didn't. 200 bucks every time, and I was never cold after that.
Trouble the uniforms in the winter, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes not the warmest.
Right.
field
I mean,
in
I'm
the
not.
world.
I don't think so much uniform. It's
Yeah.
just you go out and buy a coat. At least give them something so they can buy themselves something to wear
Buy
outside.
a
and keep
Carhartt
themselves
coat and a
warm.
set of
Well,
Trousers to
may
go
I
with
make a
it.
suggestion?
Super shoes, I know does it
The
too.
police department has those big, heavy fur winter coats.
Yeah.
And they're about 200 bucks a coat. That way they all have standard coats, instead of having the police department just put Town on Northwood on it.
Yeah, I mean,
That way
something
everyone can
simple.
identify
Don't-
them as an employee as well.
Right, I'm not talking going crazy, just something to keep everybody that, like you guys in the transfer station that works outside, just something decent, something to look into. We don't have to figure that out tonight.
We can grab some numbers.
How do you feel about that, Scott?
I'm fine with that suggestion.
Sorry to get off track there, but, no, I'm okay with the upping of that stuff too, because you gotta have it. The safety shoes are expensive. You can't get a decent pair of shoes, boots for what we want for.
Yeah, that's why they bumped it last year.
Huh?
That's why you guys bumped it this year.
Yeah, you can't.
And we bumped it to 150, now the boots are going up to 200.
Yeah, you can't, and you're right, you can't get a
You
decent.
can't keep up, Charlie.
You just can't get a decent pair of boots
Nope.
for a good price. I'm okay, I mean,
So,
I've worked down there, I know what it's like, I feel for them. It's not fun working in the cold down there, it's just not.
worked construction for many years, I know what it is to be out in the cold, so.
And it's not easy to buy yourself stuff to stay warm, so. Okay, other than that, that's it, I'm good.
How about highway cleaning, did we discuss that?
Did we miss that one? Highway cleaning page, yeah, that was the one that was the last one.
That was the guardrails.
That was the
Yeah.
guardrails.
That's what it comes out of.
And Facility and Highway Committee, that's not you, right?
That's
No.
the committee.
Oh, so we're all set, I think. Unless you got anything else?
I don't,
Awesome.
That wasn't too bad, was it?
no. Unless you guys can give me some power.
We might have power at the highway department now, but maybe not at your house. You guys can camp out there for the night.
Yeah, I like the piney on down there.
Huh?
Got heat.
You got the eye wash shower. Does that count?
You gotta get up on a high stool.
Got 220? Does it got a 220 outlet? You can bring a camper down there and plug in.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Have a good night.
I hope. Good luck. Hopefully you got power when you get home. A surprise.
They gotta replace
Nobody
the
from
pole.
Nobody from the
Yes.
fire department yet, huh? Facility, highway.
What do we have next? We want to go on to who's not here. You want to do sanitate? What's next?
Fire department said he won't be here till about 7, so,
We have anybody for facility and highway committee coming in, or are we just doing that?
no,
on our own?
Steve said he wanted to flat fund that this year.
All right, so are we? That's fine. We don't even need to go into that one, I guess.
That's fairly simple. You wanna go back to is it the fire department, the only thing we got left?
Community support page. Is that staying the same?
That's the one that asked for donations, right?
We got selectmen's page too. We might as well take care of that one.
Sandy, did we get all the donation forms in for everybody, all the usual suspects?
That went up a little bit. What went up? Who's asking for more? Rockingham.
Rockingham and Meals on Wheels.
Okay. Nope.
How much more are they asking for?
Looks like McFarland's Children's wants,
$448 more.
and then it looks like McFarland's Children's wants 900 more. Richie.
Yes. Rich McFarland Children's Fund, yep.
Fine.
At first I thought they transposed it and I called them, and they didn't. They're actually asking for $900
Do we
more.
wanna go back to regular business till the fire department gets in?
I'm okay with all that.
Okay, I mean, very little regular business.
Oh,
But do you guys want to finish the budget, or do you want, what do you want?
What's
Up to the
left in
chairman.
town administration and selectmen? We might as well paying those two out too.
Yeah, for the EDC, that's down 1,900, and the chair, Hallie, said that's fine.
I'm not worried about that one then. Is there anything on the town administration page and the selectmen page that's really glaring?
My budget doesn't have any changes.
I don't think
Except
ours
for
doesn't either.
Health and Delta.
Ours doesn't either, so we're good there too. So all we have is just the fire department. Do you want to do all the other things before that?
Yes, we have a packet today.
I would just like to point out two things in the budget that were changed
Okay.
since the last time you guys looked, was the workers' comp and New Hampshire unemployment. Remember, I didn't have those numbers?
Yep.
Those new numbers are in there. So one of them went down significantly, so.
So I'll make a motion to approve manifest number B, 2017, number 23, in the amount of $447,349.61.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll call for the vote. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Passes 3-0.
Mr. Boudreau sent another request asking that the board consider his appointment to the Recreation Committee. We wanted to wait till all 3 members were here, and that's back up.
Did you ask for some information the last time?
Yeah, did you get any of the other information I asked you about?
I did. I sent an email out to the other town administrators. None of the towns said they have a policy, and only a handful said they actually had this problem. Overall, it wasn't an issue for people, and they didn't care. Because they didn't care because it didn't come up. Let me clarify that.
Okay.
I'll actually make a motion to approve John Boudreau as a member of the Recreation Committee.
I'll second for discussion if anybody has any.
I'll just say, it's a Recreation Committee. A lot of that's advisory. I did go down to the trunk or treat. I thought there was a really good turnout. I think that a lot of the community came together to do the Haunted Walk and various other functions. I think the committee is not a complete committee. I think there's two vacancies, right?
I don't know.
Did you actually ask the question too? What happened to all the other ones? We never saw any resignation
Nobody's
letters.
ever resigned from the rec committee.
Well, no, I think they just kind of drop off. They don't formally resign.
It's hard for us to know that they're shorthanded if nobody mentions it to us. We never heard anybody that stopped. I'm just saying, we had we've oh, I know, but we've okayed a bunch of them up here, and then they just stop, and we never know. So then we get another one, and it's like,
Don't you have a rule? And I remember because I used to be
I
the.
was on the rec committee and used to have to resign.
No, I don't know, but I thought
So
if
we
they,
missed so
no,
many
there was
meetings, you oughta
something.
get
If
mad.
there's they missed 2 meetings in a
Yeah.
row without a good excuse.
no.
He just tells Sharon that he's done, and he goes to San, he goes to San Diego.
I just
It would. I say this as a just for public comment. I appreciate volunteerism. I think if somebody's willing to donate their time to a voluntary committee that gets no stipend or any type of salary, I think that's pretty. Unless there's an agenda, I think there's a pretty hard argument to say no, we don't want you to volunteer. But also being with that said, I would really appreciate as one individual selectman if somebody wants to, just an email. Say, Board of Selectmen or Town Administrator decided to resign from the committee, just so we would know whether. I've had situations somebody come up and say, "Oh, I never asked to get off the committee," and I'm not saying that's what's. I'm just using examples. I would appreciate if somebody could just send an email or a short letter saying, due to other commitments, I'd like to resign my post.
I'd like to just also point out that when this originally came up, there wasn't an issue of integrity. My concern was whether there was a conflict of interest. I still voted in the affirmative. I was concerned, and it had nothing to do with voting. I was just concerned with husband and wife being on the same committee if it fell under the conflict of interest. That's why I had Joe ask the questions. It wasn't meant to be anything, but I'm good to take a vote if you want.
Well, I mean, they don't really have, let me correct this, because the rec commission has a little more.
That was my
Over
concern.
some
They
of
have
the
a
other
little bit more
committees.
to say as far as.
Yeah, it's not gonna change my mind, but I was just saying.
No, it's not gonna change
exactly
mine either, because we still have the final say too. No, like I said, I voted in the affirmative in the beginning. I was just concerned, that was my only concern, that's it, was whether it was considered conflict of interest. And I only asked that because they tell me that when I'm up here. I'm not supposed to do anything like that.
Meeting on Monday, we could ask Sharon
No, if he says it's okay,
if he actually resigned in writing, maybe he could just forward the email to you. But you should know people are resigning, right? You totally understand that.
Mike's order? No, he didn't resign. He'll be back. He did this last year too, his first year on. He's in and out.
okay, so,
So won't he miss 2 meetings in a row?
I don't know if that's their rule.
Normally, that's the
They usually
rule,
set
but
their
they have to
own.
vote on it.
It looks very official, Joe. Okay.
I'm good.
You want to call
All
a vote?
set? Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
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 There you go. What else you got?
At the last meeting, the board signed deed waivers. One of them was missed. I made an error when I wrote it, and then I didn't give it back to you guys. So this is map 230, lot 82, sublot 5, and this is the attached.
So, already signed those.
Which one is this?
This is the one I wrote 85 instead of 5.
05?
We don't want to accept it.
No, you don't.
Okay.
Why do we have to say we're not, why do we have to sign something saying we're not doing it? That doesn't,
RSA 8082 says you have to say otherwise the tax collector's supposed to take them all. The selectmen have to say we don't want to take these.
All right, so
so
I'll make a
there's
motion.
an RSA pertaining to it.
There is, and I might actually have it here.
No, that's fine.
Do you want me to make a motion?
That's fine with me.
All right, let me make a motion real quick, and then we can go to Nick. I'll make a motion for map 230, lot 82, subdivision 05. What's the motion for, Joe?
To not accept.
Not
We do
accept-
we will not
we
accept
do
it.
We will not accept the ownership.
I'll second that.
Any discussion?
So-
Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
It's actually RSA 87:76.
Thank you. Moving on, what do we have?
Oh, and I have one closed.
We only got
Want to do
one
it,
more.
Nick,
Let's
so we
finish
can get
what we're
Sandy
doing.
out of here
Oh,
too?
this is all I got.
That's all you got?
Too, so we can get Sandy out of here too?
Yeah.
All right.
That's all the work I had for you guys for my end.
Oh, let's do fire department.
Come on up, Nick.
Thanks for holding off.
You didn't really even hold off much.
What page the fire department
19,
start?
it says. I think. That's what, we- 13?
13, fire
13,
department.
yes.
FD, fire department's 13.
Oh,
Unless I can't read it.
How's the fire truck coming?
Real well.
Time's coming close.
Pumping water. All the doors are on, lettered up. So shelving.
Sounds like
Half
we're
the
moving in
shelving
right
is
direction.
mounted in. So
The end of the month's coming quick.
yeah, I think it'll be done.
Got another 30 days.
He's
So.
gonna get it done, right?
Oh yeah.
Sounds like he's at least working on it. That's a step better than what we were doing before.
Lettered. So
Okay. 13, fire department. Wow, we went down. How'd that happen?
health insurance.
Yep.
Somebody drop off?
Last year, when we budgeted for health insurance, we had 2 vacancies. So we have to budget for family plans.
Yeah.
Plus, we were paying an additional plan for a year. That dropped off as well.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because.
Retiree.
Yep, okay.
So is there any major increases that we need to know about, really? No, we'll probably-
Well, I think the biggest thing is, just walk me through so we had the retiree drop off,
Yes.
and we're still budgeting for 4 firefighters, right?
We are, but the 2 that we filled are not
They're-
fulfilling the needs that we had budgeted for. We
They-
still have
we budget
vacancy.
for family plan, but
They
okay,
chose something else, and we're still budgeting for 1 vacancy with a family plan.
okay, all right. And you got we got the final numbers for the health insurance yet?
Yes, they're already in there. I just readjusted it the other day when I got the
Okay.
GMR from Health Trust.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
My quick question, because we've been discussing this, is does this budget include the pending captain hire?
It's a regular. position, firefighter position she budgeted for.
Yeah, that's.
Open position still,
9.5 or
yes.
9.7 is
in
what
this
you had me budget
so
for,
if we
yeah.
fill that position, it wouldn't change the budget, is what I'm
Unless you
basically
hired a
asking.
different,
So right now, I think,
Pay grade.
so my understanding is right now we're budgeting for a full-time regular firefighter.
correct.
All right, so this is a good point to bring up. So, as you,
As you know, the captain and the firefighter is gonna be a big difference in pay.
yeah, well, here's my question. Where, okay, no, I won't ask that, this is probably not the right time to ask that question.
Where are we with this?
Well, no, I'm wondering, should we be budgeting the money now? We know it's gonna cost more. So should we put in the budget now with the anticipation, so that we won't have to go,
Back to it later.
yeah,
That's what I would think, but.
Now, that would be line 112, correct?
yeah.
How much would you think you need to put in it to get to the point that it's a feasible amount to be paying why do I keep wanting to say chief, captain?
Sandy, can I ask a question?
Sure.
So your wages for the full-time fireman, salary firefighter,
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
so you got 193.
It's,
194.
right now, the budget is held at grade 9, step 5,
Okay,
which was where we started it back in
so,
August.
all right, so that 194 is for 4 full-time.
Yes,
Is there a breakdown by position number?
yes.
Grade 9,
Okay.
step 5, is that-
On
If you
the-
look on your 2018 wage report, that
Yeah.
should be in your binder somewhere from the very first budget meeting. It looks like this, DJ.
I got it. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, if you go into the fire department,
It's colored.
no, that's the other one. No, that's your benefits.
Okay.
It should be either behind it or in front of it.
Proposed budget.
Right there. Is that it, right there?
That's it? Yep, wage, yep.
Okay, yeah, you want to be on the second page, maybe, first page? At the bottom of the first page, it starts,
Okay.
and then the first couple lines on the second page. You see it? TJ?
Yeah, I got it
Oh,
right
okay.
here.
Am I looking at this one, it's got kind of the aqua green and the,
No, it's right here.
No,
It's the next
no,
one
that's
over
the
that.
benefits.
It's actually, mine's right on top, the first page.
Oh.
I don't have, maybe I'm missing a page.
wait a
I
second.
think I'm missing a page.
I'll give you mine, because I can reprint it.
I've only got the, one person's actual name on mine. You want me to help you find those?
Yeah, but that's an old one. I don't know where you got that.
Right here.
That's an old one.
Yeah, I
think
see
it's
that,
I'm missing,
but
I'm
this
missing
only
a page,
has,
'cause I don't
You're
have,
you're missing a
I
page.
don't have the police department page either, so I'm missing the first.
Okay, why don't you take mine, because I can print another one. I'll just print it tomorrow. That's fine.
hold on, maybe I just gotta go.
Looks like this is not.
Yeah, I got it, but I don't have, I'm missing a page.
You guys are all missing the first page?
I'm missing the second page.
You know what, let me go over
Second
to...
page only has one. Here, you can have my second page. I got the second page.
DJ, why don't you just give it to me and I'll make 3 copies.
Okay. I have the second.
Make this easier.
I have the second page and the third page. I'm missing the first page. Rick's got the first page though.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
45, 47, 53.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it looks like the lowest one would be 45. So,
Which is, he actually got a slight raise when he passed his A a couple months ago. I think it's 1703 instead of 1678. Oh, at least that's what I have an old sheet, so you might have the updated sheet.
so obviously the spot
Okay.
that we have vacant, we either got to adjust that to what we're going to pay our captain, or we're never going to get a captain at that rate, or our budget's going to be overspent on that line, correct?
Well,
No, it's already figured for 45,000 within that line,
Yeah,
For
with the
captain.
vacant one, with the vacant line.
yeah, so my point is,
roughly. I don't know. Sandy would have
so,
to tell you.
I guess we went out, without getting into things, but, well,
think I brought this up the last time when
I don't think we have the money, and when I say we don't have the money, right now, the salary lines in here, there's not enough money to get a captain. All right, I mean, that's basically the point. Let's forget, take personalities totally out of this. Based on what I've seen in other towns, we don't have enough in that line item for captain. So, this is me just talking. So, do we want to go with a captain, which we could? Do we want to maybe do a lieutenant? Is that an option?
Or do we want to just do a firefighter and go to a full-time chief?
That's,
Well, I'm just throwing out ideas.
I asked them that before.
We went through this about a year or so ago.
Just get a
And,
firefighter and do the full-time chief. Obviously, you.
yeah, but
that's the whole,
It's just a thought.
I think if we're gonna spend that amount of money to hire
But I
a
will say,
captain,
if we're
we
gonna,
should go all the way.
if we're gonna stick with the captain route, the next time, if we're gonna rebid it or whatever we're gonna do, we need to bid it out with a salary, because obviously that seems to be the issue why we're not being able to fill this position, is because we're not offering enough money. That seems to be the general consensus.
so anyways,
It's obvious we can't afford to pay $70,000 a year like Concord does.
Or 80, or whatever it is.
We're gonna have a
We
lot
weren't
of
looking
unhappy people
for
in town
that.
if we do that.
No, but that's what they were looking for, unfortunately. That seemed to be
I realize that.
that seemed to be the overwhelming.
That's why I say if we're
Response
going
we
that
got.
far, we might as well hire a fire chief. If we're gonna spend $70,000 a
I
year.
don't know, what do you think, Scott? It's open discussion here.
I'm not willing to spend $70,000
Well,
because it's not
no,
fair to the rest of the people that work for the town. That's nearly what Joe makes, and it's more than some other people make that've been
Yeah,
here
yeah,
for
that's not
15
what
or
I'm-
20 years.
I wasn't looking for,
no.
No, that's not what you were looking for. I'm saying that's what they were.
They were
Yeah.
looking for.
They were
No.
looking for. They
What
were
I don't-
outside
yeah.
the bar.
What I'm
Huh?
saying,
That's more than I make.
what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. I don't wanna go there.
I'm
I
not,
won't go there.
and this has nothing to do with
Right.
personalities. I think if you're gonna look at, and I think we did, I'm trying to remember, if we're gonna go with a full-time chief, I would suggest that we set up a study committee. I don't think the three of us sitting here tonight talking about the budget says, geez, let's.
I didn't
No,
expect
I
to
don't
get
think
into
so
this
either.
tonight.
No,
but
no, no,
I'm
but-
not saying
brought it
either. I
up.
was just throwing out ideas. It's like a study
Yeah,
committee
no,
and
no,
all
no,
that.
no, but I think that's more like, something like you put in a warrant box, should the town
There's still
create
time
a
between
study?
now and
Yeah,
March.
just create a study committee to look at the structure of the fire department.
Yeah, but so what happens? Okay, if we do all
But
that.
what I'm saying, one of my thoughts was, I know what we were looking at, what we thought we could afford, and I'm willing to come up and meet what we need to pay. But I also think that's not fair to other people in town to just jump the salary up to what that is. I was thinking, and again, I would like the input of the chief, why don't we go for a lieutenant? Aren't those wages a little cheaper and they're still an officer? What are your thoughts on that? I'm not trying to put.
no, it'd be an improvement. Again, it could be one of the full-timers that are currently on the roster as well, but.
All I'm saying, like, we don't have to make that decision tonight, but we do need to put more money on that line item, because I know there's not enough money there. That's all I'm saying.
Well, maybe we should have this discussion at the next meeting instead of tonight. If Nick's willing to think about it and get back to us or whatever. I don't think that was our
I think
intent
it would be
tonight,
a-
was to get into this one.
Right.
Well, I think it's a discussion we gotta figure
Well,
out.
okay,
I know, but the budget isn't due next week. We
No,
still got
no,
plenty
we
of
don't have to worry
time.
about the budget, but maybe a direction on which.
all right,
That's what I'm saying.
other than salaries for lieutenant, captain, whatever we decide.
I've got no other.
Is
I have no other
Do you have a
questions.
lot of questions about the fire department?
I know.
Because I really think the biggest issue in the fire department
Is help.
is salary.
Yeah, I think that's that and getting the person the right fit
Getting the right person for the town.
for the job that we're
Yeah.
trying to do. Yeah, exactly. I
So,
agree.
but right now, I know that I feel that the salary line in the fire department
Needs to be
budget is
adjusted.
not sufficient to hire what they need.
I agree. But
If we're
what
gonna
that,
go with the captain.
what that line is, well, how much
Even
that,
if we go with a lieutenant, you gotta jump it up.
that
a
line,
little bit.
well, we just need to figure out what that line needs to jump to in order to, for the position that we want. If we're gonna stay with the captain, then we need to figure that out. If we're gonna go with a lieutenant, what's that line?
It's still kinda early, so I got a couple questions. Nick, does any of our neighboring towns, neighboring that's similar setup to us, do they have any full-time officers?
Captain?
Well, Epsom did have a captain. Currently, they're just firing. Forever, Epsom had a captain. There's not a captain right now. Pittsfield has a chief. All these small towns are having a lot of turnover. The chief's still current. The captains, they actually had 2 full-time lieutenants. They both just left recently, within the last month.
Barrington has a full-time chief.
Barrington has a chief. Nottingham has a
Time chief.
No, he's part-time. But they had a full-time lieutenant. He left, he got hired somewhere else. So, a lot of these, almost every, in Deerfield is volunteer currently, so.
Madbury has a full-time chief, right?
I don't know if he's full-time
So-
or not, but.
It sounds like we gotta figure out that line, and if we're gonna do this, the chief thing, we need to create, like Scott said, a warrant to start a study on.
Yeah, we can't, I don't think that, I mean, I'm not saying we can't, but I don't think the 3 of us should be.
But Nottingham did have a
discussing
full-time lieutenant,
Yeah.
which you could maybe, if you're looking for pay, is that what you're looking at? See what they're making, or?
that. Well, I wanted to get an idea, like, you know, flat out, I don't think we can compete with the Rochesters, the Concords. We can't compete, we can't even compete with Hooksett. Those are full-time fire departments.
Yep.
I mean, Hooksett's close to like, I wanna say, one day, 10,000 people, maybe even more than that.
So you're
Right,
saying
there's,
we might
there's other benefits of working for a small town as far as,
We're a small town, I mean, we're 42,
Not paid,
4,300 people. We're not gonna be able to pay the salaries of a town that's got 10,000 or more people.
So like what basically what you're saying is you're looking for like a lieutenant, but with a captain's mentality that doesn't want the captain money, basically.
No, not really.
I'd like to
You know, are you gonna change the duties that he's gonna be doing?
I'm just saying,
No.
well, you gotta look at like,
I agree with you that you're saying we're not gonna be able to pay him, but it's what
we gotta give them more than, it's clear to me, based on my experience with this interview process, that our salaries are not in line. They're not even close. There's a difference between being close and not being in line. They're not even like, I know, like, without going into a couple of people, like, there's no way, like, if that was me, I would no way come here.
I'm surprised a lot of them even took. Like I said, if we would have, I
I'm
think.
surprised a lot of them even came in the interview.
Well,
if
we
they
didn't post what we were gonna pay. If we would have put in the, when we put it out to bid, what our salary was, we might not have got half of those people and that
This
applied.
goes all the way across the board for the whole town, all of our employees. I mean,
It's the whole point of why they
If
were
you
trying
look
to get a wage
around,
study done.
we're probably lower than
But the thing
most
is,
of the towns. And what I'm saying is, if we pay top dollar for this person, and we're not gonna take care of the people that've been here, we're gonna have a real problem. So we need to look at it all across the board in a fair
that's the whole
way.
point of the wage study that we're trying to do this year on the warrant article. I mean, theoretically, if that passes, this discussion will be a lot easier for us.
It would be.
Because we'll be able to have the,
We got a $2 increase in the tax rate now, so.
oh, I'm
In
not saying
March-
it's gonna pass. I'm
In
saying
March,
theoretically.
I'd be careful of what you're trying to propose.
Well, you know, part of the thing is doing this job, it's not always that pleasant, but someday you gotta say, you know,
We can put it out there, so
no,
people's
well, I'm
choice.
just saying that
Let them
there's a
vote what
point
they
where it
wanna
says
vote.
like, we cannot meet the needs of the town. There's a point where it says, hey, if you want this, if you wanna have a fire department, you want this quality of stuff in town,
You're gonna have
this
to
is, this is what it's gonna cost, okay? And I feel, as a reasonable person, as a selectman, I can say, hey, The feedback I'm getting from you is you want this. Well, if you want this, this is how much this is gonna cost.
And you gotta pay for it.
And you gotta pay for it. Now, then if we put out that budget and it gets voted down and we go to the default budget, so be it. And they'll say, the people in the town, Clary told us, this is not what they want. But I think we're misleading, we're not lying, we're misleading the public that's saying by lowballing these budgets, just so the tax rate doesn't go up. And I don't want the tax rate, I don't want the tax rate to go up because I actually, excuse me, I was a little upset when I got my tax bill. So
Sure, a lot of people are upset.
I
When
agree.
you vote for it, you gotta pay for it.
But that being said, yeah, I mean,
I
vote
got a
for it,
quick
you gotta
question
pay
with that
for it.
wage study thing. Now, if that passes, does that theoretically increase everybody's wages, or do we get to pick and choose which ones to?
no, what happens is,
How does that actually work?
well, I actually did read the wage study.
Did you really?
I did.
I mean, how is that
But
theoretically, how's it work?
I think there's a lot of good work done on the wage study. I am not totally on board on the total philosophy of the wage study. I think the wage study has some hypothetical analysis that I don't totally agree with.
None at all.
A little bit,
No.
a little bit, a little
They
bit,
all
Joe.
came from NHMA. Those are all solid numbers from all towns in New Hampshire.
Oh, I'm saying how you, I'm not saying the salaries, I'm talking about how you allocated them in the thing.
Oh.
I'm gonna put this person here, I'm gonna put this, that's the part I got followed with. But we won't
Oh,
get into
yeah,
that.
we'll talk about that
It's
later.
a whole
That's-
different discussion.
That's kind of what I was asking. Do we get to pick and choose what the salaries are, or is it just once it's
I think
passed, it
I
just
think
goes
we pick and choose what the grade and steps are,
to where we want to move them?
but then we decide like who's going where.
Okay.
Right.
The grades and steps were based on what the previous wage
Well,
study,
all right.
and they used the.
I'm not the chairman, but I'm gonna stop this conversation because we're not here to talk about the wage study.
All right.
I
Sorry.
agree.
We
We're here to
can
talk
go
to the
down, we're
fire
talking
chief.
about the fire chief, and I don't wanna get into that.
We got
So,
off track
we
earlier.
did get off track, so let's get it back on track.
It's still a good discussion for a later date, because there's a lot of info in that we need to discuss.
Yeah, and that was tough.
All right, so anyways, Nick, do you have any thoughts on what you'd like to do with that open position?
Let us know.
I mean, what is it you would like to do? What do you have?
I guess I would
Fill
say,
Yeah, but I mean, what would your ultimate,
Um,
do you have an answer, or would you like some time to think about what you'd like to do?
Well, I think to help the fire department, help the town in the long run here, it would be nice to have at least some type of a person, a go-to person that works
could that
full-time.
go-to person be a lieutenant, and could we get some prices from other towns or what?
Do you think
Yep.
a lieutenant would work in that position if we were able to do it?
It would definitely be an improvement. The only reason I was thinking captain is because we have some volunteer lieutenants, and that way there was slightly a,
A break, a difference?
Do you have some
different-
volunteer captains too?
yeah, we have one volunteer captain, yep. It was just to have that little extra step, but not of pay, but of rank.
I think though, when you put a job out to post, the person's got a captain, and they got a salary in mind.
Yeah, that's why whenever we put in a job to post, that's this.
Oh, we had
big.
talked about it. Joe said he would never apply for a job that didn't have.
Next time we put out a bid that's for a job this big, we need to put a salary range.
I agree 100%. Hey, 100%
We didn't do
agree.
that on this one.
Is this Cole Brown saying there's no school tomorrow?
Northwood School said there was school. I just got a phone call before I came in here.
Cole Brown probably still don't have power.
What's 5531? That's Cole Brown,
Let's
right?
go Brown.
Yeah, my guess is because.
I would just like
that
to
other
say, I
town
went
still
for a
didn't have
job
power.
interview one time. The first thing I said to the guy,
I
what
don't
is the
think Cole
pay
Brown's got
rate?
power yet.
And you know what he said to me?
George, gentlemen,
You and I are
I
done.
thought they were on Harvey Lake grid, but
He said, if that's your
Yeah, I
biggest
thought only one
concern,
side had power.
you won't work for me.
I thought only one side had
He
power.
kicked me right out the door. I went for a job.
I don't have kids, so I
Tractor
don't get
trail
those
driving. The
alerts.
first thing I asked the guy what the rate of pay was, he said, if that's what you're here to discuss at the first moment, he said, there's the door. I
Oh,
went,
you guys are supposed to talk salary.
And I do agree with Scott. I
well,
think,
it's
you
no
know,
different putting it out there.
I 100% agree. I don't want to, I mean, the budget shows that we didn't go asking for a bunch of stuff.
No, you're fine.
But if you want quality people, you know, town-wide, you do need to.
Yeah, we need to figure out what we're gonna pay for that position to get somebody.
Because there's
Yeah,
not,
a little
I can
better.
tell you right now, there's not enough money in there to get what you need to get.
No, I agree. We've been running, that was the whole issue. We've had 2 people line up and both of them said that was clearly their issue. So obviously, we're gonna run into it if we don't figure out something.
That's a discussion for another time other than tonight, I think.
Yeah, so
That's my
anyways,
opinion.
let's talk, other than the salary lines, let's talk about the rest of the fire budget.
The rest of it
I didn't see anything that was really,
doesn't
gave
change.
me any concern.
Have you happened to get any of the numbers? Now, this isn't budget either, but for the addition up on, I know we were discussing that. Is that something?
We should be getting numbers like this week. We just got
Trying to put on the warrant, for a warrant?
yeah, we just got a plan drawn up and we reviewed the plan, had it, made some minor adjustments. So it should have been printed off yesterday, but they probably didn't have power and we were too busy to
Yeah, well,
do
we
it.
don't need it anyways. I was just wondering if you guys are still going forward with
Oh,
that.
yeah. Yep, we've met a few times and,
And that's a good point he makes. If you put too much on, then at once,
right.
what are you gonna get to?
Well, you know, like to Scott's point, if the people want it, they'll vote for it. If they vote for it and the taxes go way up, then obviously we're still gonna get blamed for it, but.
You get blamed for everything.
No, my comment is that he's trying to be sensible about it.
I get what
He
he's,
doesn't-
yeah, but
He's
I mean,
not trying to shove anything
what he
down
needs, what he
anybody's
needs up
throat.
there needs to be done. I mean,
I mean, we try to,
complete sense.
luckily,
We brought it up earlier.
some of the people we have, you know, the volunteers and stuff, they help save money where we can. Unfortunately, some things we just have to spend money on.
It's,
There's no choice.
okay,
Oh, Co-Brown's open tomorrow.
thanks for the update. By the time this airs, it'll be 3 weeks later.
Yeah, 2 weeks late.
Just like yesterday, for an example. Yeah, I can't remember what day it was. We've been up. But Monday,
Lack of power.
we did. I
No
told
recharge.
Joe we did lose a light bar on one of the engines with a down power line. It was nothing to do with the driver's fault, but spare parts kicking around a couple people's homes and some volunteer time. They fixed it, so at no cost. Which that could have been.
Expensive.
That's awesome.
At least they fixed the main one. There's still a few, but no damage to the truck besides in the directional. If that's the worst thing that happened during that storm, I'm happy. It wasn't avoidable. So.
Yeah, that must have been.
Fallen tree limbs.
Yeah, it was a power line in the rain. You couldn't see it at night.
I remember what happened to a guy in Stratford a few years ago with a tree limb.
Other than that, I don't have anything. You, Scott?
Nope.
The control burn went great. I heard a bunch of reviews on that. A lot of people had some mixed reviews. Some were a little sad. Some were happy that you would get in training, but some were sad that the historical value was burnt. But it has to happen.
I
sometimes.
100% agree.
Has
If
to
it was
happen
gonna get ripped
sometimes.
down, at least it was
No,
used for
it had to
a
happen.
good
but-
cause.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody had got a lot of good training out of it. So
I thought it was great. That's it.
Anything
Unless
else?
you got anything else?
nope, we just got I didn't bring the what's that? Dispatch. Oh, yeah, I had that.
So Nick and his crew did some research on dispatch, the dispatch services, see what costs and what it would be to go somewhere else. I don't know if the board was interested in that tonight or not.
Is it on the agenda?
No.
It's a budget issue. But, I mean, it's up to you guys. Whatever.
Well, I mean,
Well, if he's got it with him, do it quick.
what? I mean, okay. What do you got? Because that is an issue. This dispatch.
Before you get rattling on here.
It's a big issue.
Pop that off, because this, you hear all the pops and stuff. There. Sorry, instruction.
The maps over there. We did a bunch of testing with. I can break them out if we get into it.
All right.
Basically, I got the 2 quotes that I received were from Lakes Region and
Rockingham.
Concord Fire. Joe was getting Durham.
What happened to Rockingham? They never followed through on it.
We talked to Rockingham, and they were at zero.
Zero.
When we talked to them a few months ago.
What do you mean zero?
It's a free service.
Free?
Why wouldn't we use
Yeah.
that?
I've got a lot of concern from a lot of people about that,
Okay.
yeah.
What's the concern you're hearing? Not that I'm not saying there isn't any. I'm just wondering.
I didn't come prepared to talk about
Doesn't
Rockwood.
it, well, see, this is my point. We come in here to talk, and be respectful, to talk about dispatching, which I think, when you talk dispatching, you put Rockingham in the mix, you put Capital Area in the mix, you put them all in the mix. So, if we're gonna have a discussion, let's put all our cards on the table, let's not
Yeah.
cherry pick.
So Rockingham is zero. That's who the police chief has now.
Yeah.
The police department has now. He has quite a few concerns himself about it. And he does say, and I've talked to a sheriff recently, they are going to start charging. What it's going to be, nobody really knows yet. They are a police dispatch, which takes priority over fire departments. Deerfield is on Rockingham and Nottingham.
There's other towns too.
So we work
Oh yeah,
closely
but
with those
the
two
neighboring towns,
We can work closely with those two towns, right?
yeah,
So what
I
is,
mean,
what's
not as
Not as close as Epsom.
not as close as like Epsom and Stratford. We probably work the closest with, just because.
So what are the other two quotes?
Um,
Concord goes up every year. $5,000 a whack.
So Lakes Region would be 37,700. They are fire dispatch. Throughout the testing, talking to the Stratford chief, I mean, they had problems down by Bow Lake, which is the tough spot. In the Gulf for us, and over by Saddleback Mountain, 43 area is a tough area to get out. The benefit of them, they are fire dispatch, so if other incidents come up, their focus is on fire department rather than Rockingham, where the police kind of come first.
So when you say Concord, that's capital, right?
Yeah, Concord, who we currently have now, they serve, 22 communities. Basically, we're the furthest east,
Yeah.
Pittsfield, and then heading that way.
Has Concord lost any communities?
They have not lost any recently.
So I'm thinking a couple of years ago, that's when the price really went up. Did they lose a community a couple of years ago and they had to make up the cost through all the other communities?
That is what, like, if one community joined, because we're not the only bordering community,
Yeah.
Ware is thinking about possibly joining.
Yeah.
If that one community joined, even though it's a smaller community, it would bring down the overall price to everybody, obviously. It wouldn't be an increase. It wouldn't for us per year, but it would basically flatline what we were paying the year before.
So what, is the increases all based on like inflationary stuff and like salary increases for staffing there, or? I mean, what
Yeah, the
drives-
majority of it's staffing. The past 2 years, we've actually made out pretty well as far as Northwood as a town increasing. They're adjusting their formula. It used to be more on an evaluation rather than population. So the
So if you're
assessment
from a rich town that has a lot of money, you pay more.
you were paying more. Now the percentages, it was like 70% evaluation, 50% population. Now it's becoming closer. It's like 55%. It's almost 50-50 now, which is actually helping Northwoods. So we're not getting quite as much increase.
So what is, now we looked at Durham too, right? Did you say Durham? Is that like,
Joe went over there and talked to him.
Dale and I went and spoke with Durham. They're willing to bring us on for $22,000. The caveat with them is there are 3 towns that share a radio
radio tower?
Frequency.
frequency. right now, they're not willing to let us jump on their frequency. We'd have to get our own frequency.
What's the cost of that?
I haven't dug into it yet.
So,
That's like a year and a half process
so
too.
Durham, yeah, I know that. Durham would say 22. What is capital charging us? I know there's some other costs in there. What was that? Sorry.
Capital, Lakes Region was 37.7, Capital is 42. So 1.6 increase over the 2017 cost. So
I'm not doubting that they're not the best. It's just that every year it's like bang, bang, bang. I'm not saying they're not good. I'm saying
yeah, it was a 1.6 increase for us. I know, like, yeah, I don't know what year, 3-4 years ago was it?
It was
For that, what's the difference? What's one going to get me over the other? I mean, we're still going to get. I mean, no, well, you don't know that, but
For $1,000,
The
you're
biggest,
not gonna get much.
the biggest thing you have to, for us, that we have to focus on is if we can hear them and they can hear us. You know, if Rockingham's free and you can't hear them in half the town, you might as well have somebody dispatching you from New York that's free too. I mean,
That's not what they claim. They claim they can cover the golf, no problem.
yeah.
I've talked to police officers that said they've never had any problem in the golf because Rockingham put a repeater on the tower 6 months ago.
I know Shane and Glenn said that they have troubles in the golf, but we didn't do any testing with them. We went off.
Sketchy down there for service.
Yeah. But even like Catamount 107, trying to get through was tough for us.
so how come? Just out of curious, how come the police are on Rockingham and we're on Concord?
That's the way it's been.
But you
We
know,
joined Capital Area Compact in like the late
Oh yeah, I know. It was
1970s,
a long time ago.
and before that you had a call. It was the old phone system. I mean, so the improvements have definitely improved over the years. You get the Central New Hampshire hazmat team. There's a few little benefits with Concord. Lakes Region and Concord actually work together, so if one dispatch was to go down, the other one fills its place. And they just updated all their towers, so it's simulcast. So when they page, it bounces off every tower, basically at the same time. But I just recommend them because, you know, not only because for coverage reasons, but I know for life safety reasons, when something's really going to happen, that they can actually help walk people right through a situation that other places might not know what to do with. So whether it's a down firefighter or multiple severe calls at once. I mean, just during that storm, they did 300 incidents, and we handled it fine with them. So I'm basing my assessment off previous experience with them, and don't have any complaints. So. Lakes Region, they would have to put they would be willing to put a repeater in to help us in the dead areas, but that would be a 1.5 year
Who's
project.
Stratford use?
Lakes Region.
I thought somebody just put a repeater in here. Did they ever do that? Who asked
Yeah.
us to do that?
That was the sheriff department.
Merritt County Sheriff.
And what Lakes
And that
Region
doesn't
cost?
work?
Yeah, for them it does.
He gave us a price? Nick, sorry, what Lakes
Yeah,
Region?
it's something.
How much Lakes Region?
$37,715.
So Concord and Lakes Region are fairly close.
If you opt to get out, we're in a contract with them, so it's, I believe, 18 months.
We're in a contract with who, Lakes Region?
Concord area.
Concord.
Yeah, and I'm familiar with that with some of the contracts I'm in with other states for fuel tax collections and stuff. They usually need at least 18 months to switch contracts on stuff like that. I don't know if it's. I'll say this: if it's working and we're not talking like, what do we talk? What's the big difference? I mean, you can't. Rockingham zero's unrealistic. I mean, might be zero for 1 year, and then all of a sudden it's like 30 grand.
It's been zero for a lifetime now.
Well, I'm just.
The difference is about 20 grand or better. I don't think this is something we have to
We've
decide
said it
tonight
before,
anyway.
we've said it before a few times, is sometimes always the cheapest venue isn't always the best.
No, but we didn't test them either. We're
I'm
waiting
not
on
saying that we
secondhand
did.
information.
But sometimes we still choose the cheapest one. I'm just saying that we do say that sometimes the cheapest option isn't always the best.
I agree.
But whether or not that applies in this situation, we don't know.
Well, there could be a reason. Why do they do it for nothing? Do they get a grant from something, or you know what I'm saying? How do they fund it?
Yeah, I haven't looked into
Are they
it.
funded? Are they funding
Through
it?
the county.
Are they funding it through our county? Because we pay county.
We pay county tax, that's where it comes from.
Okay. Is that how they fund it? Because that.
I'm not sure if that's how they get all their funding, but they get.
Could we look into that? Because we are paying county taxes. I mean, the
Yeah.
residents here are all paying county
We
taxes.
pay about 600 grand a year.
I mean, that's one thing. We pay to Rockingham County,
Maybe
but
that's where they're getting their
we
money.
don't use Rockingham County for. We use Stratford Regional Planning, which is Stratford County. We don't use Rockingham County for anything, but we happen to be in Rockingham County,
And we pay for it.
and we pay for it.
So we pay twice.
I mean, they do have the sheriff's department and the nursing homes, but
And social services.
what?
And the social services from Rockingham County.
We do use those.
Okay.
So in actuality, you're not really paying nothing. You're paying.
You're paying,
We're
but you're
paying
not seeing it.
taxes to Rockingham. Well, all the residents are paying taxes to Rockingham County.
We're probably not gonna solve this tonight.
No,
We're not gonna,
We could dig more into it and bring it back to the board again. I know there was some concern about midway through the year.
Just remember, it takes 18 months if we decide so. It's not going to be like right away.
So, I think we need to schedule Nick to come in anyways, and we gotta figure out what we're gonna do with that position at some point.
it's gonna work on it. Probably
I know.
what I've heard him say.
I know, but that means he's gotta come back and we gotta adjust the
Thank you,
budget,
Nick.
we gotta adjust the budget.
Oh,
I don't
Chief.
think he's ready to make a
No, I know that, I
decision tonight.
know that. I didn't say tonight, I said he's gotta come back at some point before budget season.
He always has come back. I don't think any.
You don't want to come back.
I don't
Maybe
blame
he don't, but he doesn't seem to have a problem coming.
Hey, have a good one, Nick.
What else we got?
Guys, that's all I have for you. It was just budget tonight.
Town report, anybody, anything?
I got something, and I'll just bring it up. I gave it to Rick because he's chairperson. We got a letter from MetroCast talking about a change in our rates.
Should read
So
it.
I think that we should get that out for the public.
They pay enough now for
I
TV.
agree. I agree.
Direct TV.
My other thing is, well, a lot of people that I was going to there, a lot of people have asked about us changing MetroCast. I think the concern with DirecTV is a lot of these places, these camps can't get them with their.
Well,
lines.
we can't. One of the things, and because you brought it up, and do you know why we can't switch?
Because we're in a contract.
Well, it's not even
And
that.
probably the other places don't want to come out here.
To give you two reasons, MetroCast has made an investment. All the lines.
Right, so
all
they
the
have to come in and
system.
do all new lines, which is what I mean.
That's
They're
not. That's it. So if another company comes
costs
in,
us
they
big
have
money.
they have to put in all that infrastructure.
gonna- Who's paying for that?
Which in reality,
They
no
pay
other
for this
company,
now.
We
no
are.
other company is going to come in
Right.
to a small town.
Without charging a boatload of money.
Yeah.
I know this. I
You
was
don't
just
know
saying.
that, though.
I was just saying that it has been mentioned about us considering it, and that, I knew that was the reason why we haven't considered it.
I'm just putting it out there. That's why everybody thinks, oh, just go with Comcast
No, it's
or
not that
Infinity,
easy.
whatever.
We
It's
could,
not
but
that
it's
easy.
gonna cost a lot of money.
maybe we should check our options and see what there is.
I called Verizon when they were doing the contract changeover. They didn't call me back.
Yeah, it's the same thing, they just don't wanna run the cable.
Yeah, they're like,
What it
no.
is.
No, we don't want Northwood.
No, but you don't know unless you ask.
No, it's, but, yeah,
And
getting
it
this
may
out.
make these guys pay attention
Oh,
too. If they know
I-
you're shopping,
I just
they may
wanna,
not be so apt to.
I had one other
Have a
thing I
big
wanted to bring
increase.
up, and I think you guys probably know. I received an email, from, a resident on Sherburne Hill Road. And I told him, I think I forwarded that email to everybody on the board and Joe. But, just getting complaints about, a property that we took.
Yep.
That's starting to become an eyesore. And I think we need to either look at what we're gonna do with that property. Should we put it up for sale, you know, whatever.
Put it up for
But-
sale as is, or clean it up and then put it for
Well,
sale.
it's like that's another thing, talking about the budget. What do we have in the budget for cleaning up some properties?
Not that kind of money.
It's,
Well, that's a discussion we
Not
need to have. Are we gonna put it up,
$20,000.
are we gonna
No,
put
but
that
I'm
up for sale the
saying-
way it is, or are we gonna
Well,
clean it up and then put it up for
That's
sale?
the options.
so
So I
right,
just wanted to bring that up.
I think if we get into it deeper than what we are now, we're never gonna get our money back. That's my opinion. My opinion is if we sold it like it is and let somebody else do the cleanup, the place is condemned, so that means they have to take it down. And they knowingly buy it knowing that it's condemned and it can't be refurbished.
Yeah. I'd just like to, I got a point too
If
that,
we own it for 35,000 now, or whatever we owe it for, and we spend 20 to clean it up, we're into it for 55 at that point. And I mean, where are we going from there? What is a, 1.9 acre lot worth?
I think buildable lots are going for about 60 right now.
That's more than, how big's that?
1.9 acres.
it's buildable, it's barely buildable.
And another
Not quite
problem we
buildable.
have that I brought up to Joe, and I'll say it again right now, the bank still has a lien on it in Rockingham County. I looked at the deed myself, and we think we own it, but in Rockingham County, there's a $114,000 mortgage showing on the registry of deeds, so
Yeah,
we
but
need
they're,
to do our
but
homework
they're
there.
not, but we take priority over the bank.
I know, but we clean it up and sell it, and then they're gonna want the difference. That's the problem we got, Scott. Making money on it. They have a right to the difference.
So,
That's what you don't
I'm just
wanna
putting
forget.
this out for there for discussion, I'm not.
No, I'm just
Well,
stating facts.
you live in that neighborhood.
I understand
You
that,
pay
Scott. I'm
atten-
not bucking
I know,
that.
I'm just getting it on the record.
I don't blame people.
You got somebody that lives in that neighborhood
I
that has a
understand.
nice property, keeps it well maintained,
I understand that.
and he's got I'm not gonna say, but a not so pleasant property next
Across the
door.
street
And he's
or
like,
next door.
is that dragging his real estate? I mean, somebody, if he goes to sell his house, what are you gonna do about that?
I understand all that. But how many of these properties do we have in
put on
town?
your- to put
We've got
that
about a
to your
dozen of
point.
them right now.
To your point, there's a few on some class 6 roads that I know of that we
We
have.
got some in Lucas Pond, we got 4 or
And the
5
town
in
can't even
Hardy
put
Lane.
nothing about because they're
I'm
on
not
class 6.
saying I got a solution, I'm just saying.
Oh, I know, we've got them everywhere, and a lot of them have been around a lot longer than that one has. That one's been around for what, a year? We've got some that've been around 5 to 10 years that I know of in this town that haven't been cleaned up. We need $100,000 to go around and knock down 4 or 5 of them.
More burns.
Well, more controlled burns.
You know, we didn't help by dumping all the logs in there. That didn't help the look of the place either.
Oh, is that where we put the logs?
Yeah.
Why'd we do that?
We had to get them off the road. Well, I mean, we're gonna get them
We're
out of
gonna
there.
get 'em out
but-
of there.
Yeah, we needed a staging place. We couldn't just leave them
Oh,
outside
so we're
the
not
road.
leaving the
No,
logs?
we're not gonna leave them.
No, they need to go.
They do.
They should have went to the transfer station or the
Yeah, why
ball
didn't we
field
just put
or
them in the
somewhere.
transfer station?
There's no place, they ain't gonna put that many there.
But, yeah.
Oh, have
They do.
we advertised it for free? In the paper or online?
Yeah, we didn't decide what we wanted to do with them yet.
Well, we need
We're
to,
not gonna get any money out of them, I
we
can
gotta
tell you that.
decide that if we can't get no money out of them, let's see if we can't get somebody to take them at least.
Can we just put it out there? Come take
I
it.
don't know, whatever everybody
These
thinks.
logs- Yeah, you just get rid of them.
Let's see if we can put it out there for somebody to take them, if they wanna
thing
give it,
is-
or donation or
I
whatever.
might go down there if you're just looking to get rid of them, I might cut some up and bring them to my house.
Yeah, the problem with that is we're liable. If
No.
someone gets a broken
Glad
leg
if
down
I go,
there,
I'm a selectman.
Well, you could put it in, you could put it, when you put it in out there for free, but town will not be held liable
That doesn't always.
That doesn't work
Well,
with
then,
lawyers.
we can also put that you have to do all cutting off property. You
All
take
right.
it, you cut it.
We're kind of getting off track.
No, the way to do it is put it out there, and someone that's in the logging business will come pick it up, they'll chip it, do whatever they got to do with it. We can't have people going in there and cutting with their chainsaws and splitting wood and loading it on their trucks. Someone falls down in a hole, there's holes in there from wood chucks, and someone steps in a hole and breaks a leg, where are we gonna be?
All right,
All right,
I'll get rid of it.
My thing is with this power outage thing, I was thinking, with our highway department being out there doing the work that they're doing in the dark, also, I know I've got some phone calls with the transfer station being closed on Monday. I think we should consider possibly maybe getting a generator for down there. We could possibly get that out of the transfer station fund money to run both departments, so when we're out of power, we don't have to close the transfer station,
We can.
and the highway department can actually function
My understanding is the way that trust fund's set up.
for improvements. That's an improvement. How's that not an improvement?
Yeah, but you said you wanted to share with the highway
Well,
department.
you don't have to. You could get one out of their department for theirs. Don't they have one too? So you can't
No, they
keep
don't
money
have
out
a
of each one?
generator.
They don't have a fund
They
like
have
that.
a generator.
All right. Well, I'm not talking generator fund. It'd be it's capital reserve or whatever it's called for the transfer station fund.
I think, we'd have to, I think you could make the justification for that. We just have to look at the warrant article that set it up. See how specific it is.
Like we had some numbers for some generators.
I just think if we
Would you look at the warrant article to make sure that that would be a viable expenditure?
A generator for the transfer station?
I'd like to tie it into the highway
If you
department.
actually read the language to the warrant article that created that trust fund, I think it's allowable expenditure, but there's some very specific language in how that money can be spent. I think he's got a valid point. I just want to make sure it's in compliance and harmony of the intention of the warrant article.
And also, to that point, is can we get around somehow? I think it'd be crazy to put a generator down there and not power the highway department building. Why would you not do it?
It's a recycle building.
Well, it's not. Let's be realistic.
I'm just saying.
It's not. Let's be honest to the people. But I'm thinking if you're going to put a generator there, why would you not power that building also? I know that's probably another loophole, but maybe you could have the generator put at the transfer station through that fund and make the
Hey,
highway
it's like the
department.
sun, it shines on you, it shines on other people,
And when it goes down, I won't say what it'll be. but
I'm
we'll
not
leave it
saying
at
we
that.
have to include we don't have to even include the highway
Hey,
department.
the
but it's
generator's
just the thought.
sitting, it's the generator's and the light's sitting on the transfer station. If that light happens to go a little bit on the highway garage, that's just kind of physics.
It's not so much the light, it'd be running the hydraulics so they can open and actually do business, Because they're gonna run into that problem this weekend of filling that container, I guarantee it.
This fine print is what the rates are gonna go up to.
You know what, they stuck it in Scott's.
Well, it's got internet services, it's got amounts, but it's so small that I can't see
I
it too
would
well.
suggest, should we post this somewhere?
I think we should.
I can post it online.
Let the people see what they're gonna get.
Say,
Maybe they have some
because they're turning
concerns.
around and saying,
They might wanna come in and speak about it.
Joe, can I ask a question?
yeah, put that online, please. Are we all in agreement?
Is that generator that's towable down there, is that the one that runs the town hall?
No.
No, that's right out there.
Yeah, but didn't
There's-
they used to
there's a
have one
station.
that was on a trailer, an actual tow behind at one time, down at the
that we
down
own.
at the
It's the
highway?
fire department. Don't the fire department got something like that?
Did we?
I
I
think
vaguely
we-
remember it. It was a long time ago. I think you're right. We might have
That was
rented it
a
when we had
rental.
the ice storm.
Yeah, it was a rental.
All right.
All right, okay.
It's just a thought. It doesn't mean we have to. It's just a thought.
I'll get some numbers for you. That's all I had for you guys.
We have some trees that fell over down the Bow Lake in different places we're gonna have to deal with at some point.
Down at the beach, I saw two.
Yeah, I mean, it's all over town, and I don't know what we're gonna do with all the brush and the pine needles that are on the roads, and
Yeah. Same thing.
hopefully I guess maybe the first snowplow will take care of them, put them in the ditch. Probably the best way.
Another thing too to look into while we're on the line of possible things we could use funds for is maybe a new gate for, I don't know if that would be considered the highway department or the transfer station, but that thing is about ready to fall apart with the between the windstorm and how old it is. I mean, Theoretically, I'd like to see something when you drive through, it shuts behind you, so we don't have people going in there when you're not open. I mean, a little call card, you click it.
The gate
go
should
through
be
it.
up beyond where the highway garage is.
I agree. I think, along with that line, maybe
Up
maybe-
beyond the highway garage where they load their sand.
So
The
they don't have
gate
to worry
should be
about it.
Beyond that, so they can't get to the transfer station.
And the other thing too is, along that line is if you're gonna do that, if we're gonna go to that extreme, maybe that camera that we took out of the office in the transfer station, we could put that pointing towards the sand and salt. So, I mean, I know that's the one area of concern on that part that we're worried about. Just some more things that we can kind of tweak to make that. I think it'd be really nice to have a gate to shut behind them, because I know we get a lot of people in there when we're not open. I mean, I think now, I don't know if they did it, but it looks like they got a tire basically stopping it from moving back and forth in the middle of it. I'm pretty sure our department did that,
Yeah,
but
they
it's
did.
just, if it's getting to that point, maybe it's time.
Public comment?
Any further public comment? I
I'm
guess
sorry.
we're done. Sorry. We got ahead of ourselves.
You always do that.
I want to do our record.
Still early though.
Beth Boudreau. I just want to go on record to say thank you to the highway department, the police department, and the fire department. And over the past 3 days, he had said that the fire department did 300 calls. And I know that the fire department, the police department's understaffed. So that's a lot to go above, especially if we're doing volunteer for fire department. You know, that's a huge, huge undertaking. And then I was kind of like shocked to find out that the public works don't even have like Carhartt jumpers. That's ridiculous. They should have
Never had
those
it.
bright neon-y lime color jumpers with a nice protective, you know, those reflective gear. I don't know why, you know,
Never been that way.
but they're not that expensive. I would think that between the public works and then the transfer station, they should be warm. You know, so if it costs $150, whatever, per person, I think how many people are on the public works? 2 people?
When I was working down at the transfer station, this is before Joe's time. I had actually done some research on. I actually bought a Milwaukee heated coat. It runs on a battery. They're rechargeable. You can get a full neon one for like $300.
Yeah.
One time buy. I've had mine for 5 years. Plug it in, it works great.
Right.
And I brought it up to the administrator, and they looked. This was before you. They looked at me like I had 5 heads. We're not going to pay that kind of money to keep you warm.
I'm always cold, so
went out
I
and bought
totally
it,
understand.
And I actually just went out and bought it myself, and now I don't use it because I don't work there no more.
Right, I just don't know why we, you know, how many guys would that be? 4 or 5? I'm not sure.
5 total.
5?
5 total.
I don't know if do they have like a uniform allowance in the budget? Is there
Not the transfer station, I don't believe. It's
just
what
like
we were-
just
that's what we were talking
t-shirts?
about.
They get shoes and they get shirts.
They don't just.
Shoes and
like
shirts.
T-shirts?
That's what we were-
I don't think people would complain about having them have clothes to keep them warm,
I
as
agree.
well as safety issues. I mean, all these tree limbs are down at night. You know, if something ever happened, that would be horrible if they were hit, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
And I don't have cable, so. But, yeah, the rates are too high. That's why I have TV. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
Okay, non-public, Joe?
One thing, and it should be very quick.
I'll make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91A:3, which paragraphs? 8.
Second.
Roll
All
call.
in favor?
Donald Hush and I.
Rick Wolf? Yes.
Scott Pry, aye.
I'll make a motion to come out of non-public.
Second.
Roll call, Donald Huston.
Rick
Aye.
Wolf?
Scott, aye.
I'll make a motion to seal the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Aye. Third.
Wow, holy crap, guys.
Aye.